Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Limbus Company reaction. Today we have Canto 8, Boss 1, Battle Theme 2. Everyone wanted me to get to this one. Like 400 people on one comment voted for me to get to this one, and a lot of other comments as well. So here we are. Obviously, I've got to listen to it. Given that most people said it was like technically phase 2, I'm assuming that going into this, that the first one and this one are directly connected. And I don't know if it's like literally a phase 2 or if there's like a break between the two themes, but I'm just going to be treating it as one solid piece. I've already re-listened to the other one a little bit to kind of refresh my memory, so I'll be going into it knowing what happened in the last one and having that memory in place. So I guess without further ado, let's go. Ooh. Yeah, it really does just pick up from the end of the last one. All the same familiar motifs and everything. A lot more intensity being added, of course, but again, there's that same vibe from the last one. There's still an emotional element to this. Woo. I really like that. That was a really nice melody. Beautiful. But again, that beauty makes me go like... I did try to avoid most of the comments, because I didn't want to spoil anything knowing I would do this one. But I'm still getting the feeling off of this one. It's just bigger, you know? As a part 2 should be. Ooh. Kind of a cinematic movement there. Yeah, they're really like digging into this. Ooh, oh, this is different. So what they were doing felt more like a historical drama. But that was a neat little interlude there. But we're back. We're back to this huge cinematic energy. Ooh, going up on the resolution. All the support went down and those horns went up again. Oh, great separation. A little bit extra on the layering in there. There's some texture underneath it. I can't quite tell what instrument that is. Oh, it's so positive now. All right. Okay. Yeah. That leaned more into the kindness I was feeling in the first one, where I was like, okay, well, this is clearly a boss, but it doesn't sound quite as intimidating as I expected it to. It still had some air of like presence that made you kind of want to join them for whatever reason. And this song had more of that. It's like they doubled down on that aspect. So that's really neat. So for this one, I'm more going to lean into that exact concept of what I was feeling in the first half and how it evolved and how everything feels feels just a little bit different. I did see a few comments referring to this character as basically Confucius, so that does give me a little bit of context, but that's why I stopped reading them, because that's all I wanted to see. I didn't want any more than that as far as like lore dumps yet, because I knew I was going to be doing this one. But this song, it has a heroicism to it. Like, there's this huge uplift, everything is major and prideful, and there's just a giant boast in this song, and it really feels like the character, even more than last time, is trying to convince you that you need to do something, or that what they're trying to do is truly an idea of the people in a way. It's like they're trying to convince you that whatever they're doing, or whatever they're trying to convince you to do, is the moral correct option. And that does track with the whole Confucius thing. Usually people associate Confucius with somebody who is wise and somebody who has great insight on things. So now with that knowledge and that information, I'm starting to wonder if this isn't straight up like a conversation piece between you and Confucius in a way. I'm definitely leaning a little bit into the literal aspect of that, but also that might be what this is. It might be like Confucius basically going, okay, you want to have a talk? Let's have a talk. Let's do this. Let's communicate here. Let's figure this out. Let's find a common ground. An educated guess of what we need to do is not what we need to do. We need to be able to butt heads a little bit to figure out what the answer is. And I feel like that's what this is, because constantly through this half, you're getting that same high energy you were in the first one, but there's less intimidation factor here. It's a lot more of an, okay, yes, we're reaching the conclusion here. We're understanding each other. You're getting it. This feels like the adrenaline high you would get out of a debate with somebody who is on equal grounds with you, somebody who does get it, but they might just see it slightly differently. And I feel like that might be what's going on. As I mentioned, the major lifts and everything in here just constantly building up, and every single time they capped out at something, they resolved, but they never really saw eye to eye, especially at that one part where the horns went up and the resolution of the rest of the song went down. So it's still keeping a separation every single time there's a big boastful moment in this song. It still made sure to frame it as things aren't done yet. Things haven't been quite settled on yet, because a full resolution would be what that would signify. Something where everything is done. The story is over. We've all agreed or disagreed to the fullest extent. End of song. You know, it's very 1-2 binary concept there of just, we are through. This never got to that point, despite feeling so positive and so major most of the time, and just having this heroic backbone to it. It was more like somebody was trying to pull that out of you than anything else. It's like, even though there's that separation, we are still landing within the same notes in the key. Like, things are working together. We're just on different platforms here. It's almost like a parallel line of thought. Like, you're both going in the same direction. Your goal is eventually going to end up in the same location, but you're not perpendicular. You're not butting heads. You're not running into each other and clashing necessarily. That's what this song is. You're still facing and going in the same direction. Your goal is roughly the same. But there are moments where things will kind of, you know, go off track, and then you have to get back straight. And like that's what this feels like. It feels like two people, somebody took a turn at some point, they're clashing and trying to get them back on track, because at the end of the day, you're still trying to end up at the same station. And both of you know that, but neither of you can really understand each other fully. But you get it. So it's really that. This song is really, really good in that respect. Like, there are many songs I've heard that concept of the things clashing and not really working together, but eventually resolving to a full understanding of each other. Or like, you know, you beat the villain, but then you also empathize with the villain. You understand what the problem was. But this song never really felt like there was a villain-hero dynamic so much as there was two people who have the same ideals, but just don't know how the other person is seeing it, and this is the conversation as how they're trying to understand each other constantly. And it is kind of a shame that the song doesn't necessarily end and it does kind of loop back around, but also I could kind of feel where it would resolve, like when the fighting is over, instead of having the looped version, I can sort of tell where that would end, and it does end on a resolution. Just in this version of it, they have to loop back, so they have that extra little bit at the end to adjust for that, which is fine. That happens all the the time on these uploads, and it's not really something that bothers me or misdirects me at all. It just makes me have to pay attention, especially at the end of stuff like part 2s when I know that there's like more to the story. I need to be aware of where that could go and how it may end, instead of just assuming that it's an endless cycle. Because yeah, you're usually doing actual fights in these, so you want the song to be designed like that. You can't just end it on the official version. You have to have it loop, you know? That's just how the music works in the game. But that last resolution before it loops definitely feels a lot more solidified. It definitely has more oomph to it right at the end, and that feels good. It feels like things are finally starting to understand. That last separation that I commented on right before it got to that final resolve felt like the final moment of just like the, okay, we can agree to disagree there, but, and then they figured it out, and that was like the last final word on the matter. But it really just sounds like the most epic possible option for like a soundtrack to a debate club. You know, like if that were a thing, you have soundtracks in a debate class, this is the most epic option you could have backing your argument. And I feel like a lot of people would probably agree with you just for having something this uplifting in there that has a lot of those clashes. Like psychologically, that does play a factor. So this is really cool to hear in sound and in that context as well. But I've yapped enough about this one, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs you want me to get to from this Canto or other things in Limbus or Millie, I now have the Project Moon stuff and Millie on like the same day from my regular schedule. So if you want either of those, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to them. But otherwise, if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!